If you're looking to make some easy crochet slippers, then you come to the right place. I'm Little John Yarns. I come out with new patterns every single week, so make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always up to date. These crochet ballet slippers with a strap are super easy to make that even beginner crocheters can complete them. The stitches that we'll be using for this pattern are chain stitch, slip stitch, and double crochet. The materials that we'll be using for this pattern are Red Heart Super Saver yarn in the color red and black, and we'll be using a 5.5mm crochet hook. And don't forget to check out my crochet t-shirt shop. I come out with brand new shirts every single week, and also use the promo code YARN and receive a 10% discount. Alright guys, let's hop into the tutorial. We're going to begin with a magic ring. If you don't know how to do a magic ring, you can chain 4 and slip stitch to join to form a ring. So start your magic ring, and after you have it, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Your chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Alright, we're going to put 13 double crochets into the ring. So 1, 2, and 3. You can pause your video here, continue putting the remainder 13 double crochets into the ring, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Okay, we have our 13 stitches, and you can pull your tail to close off your magic ring and closes off the center. We are going to slip stitch the join into the top of the very first double crochet. Here's the chain 2, and here's the top of your double crochet right here. Slip stitch the join. Now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Remember that chain 2 does not count as a stitch. We're going to place 2 double crochets into the same stitch and each stitch around. Let me show you. So let's go into this very same stitch that we worked from. So this is 1 double crochet, back into the very same stitch for 2 double crochets. We're going to repeat it in each stitch around. I'll show you one more time. 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So this is 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. Alright, you can pause your video here, continue placing 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Okay, we've made it back around, and you should have a total of 26 stitches. And now we're going to slip stitch the join once again into the top of your into the top of your double crochet. Here's your chain 2, and the top of your double crochet is right here. So slip stitch to join. The next 5 rows is going to be pretty simple. I'll show you. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to double crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Simple as that. So you can pause your video here, continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and I'll meet you back at the other side. We've made it back around, and we're going to slip stitch the join into the very first double crochet. Alright, we're going to repeat this last row of course, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch around for an additional 4 more rows. So pause your video here and continue with 1 double crochet in each stitch for another 4 more rows. Okay, we have finished those additional 4 rows, and now we're going to slip stitch the join into the top of your very first double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to double crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to double crochet into each stitch all the way around, except for your last 9 stitches. So place 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around, except for your last 9 stitches. We're going to leave those unworked. So you can pause your video here and I'll meet you at those last 9 unworked stitches. Alright, we completed those stitches, and like I said, we have those last 9 unworked. So it looks like this. So now we are going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to turn our work this time because we're no longer working in the round. And we're going to double crochet into the same stitch because remember, our chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And we're going to double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And that should be a total of 17 double crochets. So pause your video here, continue placing 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way across, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Alright, we made it to the very end of this row. We're going to repeat this row until it reaches the back of your heel. So you can pause your video here, continue placing additional rows until it reaches the back of your heel. I'll post a picture so you can get a visual understanding of exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, here's what it looks like so far. As you can see, we're going to continue making rows until it meets the very back of your heel. And once it's there, you're going to stop and we're going to pick up with sewing next. Okay, we completed our additional rows, and I'm going to turn my slipper inside out. And on the back part of your heel, I am just going to fold it together, like so, bringing one half to the other half. What we're going to do here, we're just going to sew it closed or slip stitch it closed. I'm going to go into the first stitch and the back stitch and slip stitch. Once again, go into the front stitch, back stitch, slip stitch. Continue placing slip stitches from the back and the front to join the pieces together all the way up your seam. And once you're done, I'll meet you once we move on to the very next step. Okay, we finished slip stitching up the side of the back heel of your work. You can fasten it off. And this is what your heel looks like. You can flip your work back to the correct side. Alright, now we're just going to attach our yarn to this part of your slipper. Let me give you a better angle. I'm sorry. Your toe should be facing your right. We're going to attach the yarn to this part of your slipper. You see the front part of your toe? And the very first V right here. That's where we'll be attaching our yarn. Alright. Once your yarn is attached, chain 1, and we are going to single crochet evenly across the side of your work. So evenly place single crochets all the way around the side of your work. So all the way around here, around the back, until you make it to the other side. Do not go across the front of your toe. We're going to stop right here. So pause your video here, continue placing single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it to the other side, and like I said, we're not working this front part. And once you make it to this other side, you see the very first stitch right here where there's a V off the side of your double crochets. We're just going to slip stitch there and fasten off our work. Like that. Next, we're going to attach black yarn to the very back of the heel. So let me get my black yarn. I'm placing it back here so you won't see the slip stitch to join when we're all done. So I attach my black yarn, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the very same space. And we're going to single crochet in every stitch all the way around. We're going to make a complete circle. We're working in the round again. So pause your video here, continue placing 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, including the very front of your slipper, and back around the side again. So pause your video here, and I'll meet you back at the other side. Okay, we made it back around. As you can see, I made a complete border around the top of our slipper. And we're just going to slip stitch to join into the very first single crochet. And once you're done with your slip stitch, we are going to fasten off our work. Make sure you're weaving all your ends, and we're going to move on to the very next step. Next, we are working on our strap, and in order to do that, we're going to begin with a chain of 16. Once you have your chain of 16, we are going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here's your first chain, and here's your second chain. So let's half double crochet into there. And we're going to half double crochet in each stitch all the way down. So pause your video here and continue placing half double crochets all the way down your chain. Okay, once you make it to the end of your chain, you should have a total of 15 half double crochets. For your next row, we're just going to chain 1 and repeat. We're going to half double crochet into the same stitch and in every stitch all the way across. So half double crochet and into the next stitch, half double crochet. So pause your video here, continue placing half double crochets in each stitch all the way across, and I'll meet you at the other side. Alright, we made it to the other end, and once again you should have 15 half double crochets, and fasten off your work. Next, we're going to attach our black yarn to the very beginning of where we started. Here's my tail end from where I began. I'm just going to attach the yarn to the very first double crochet of the row we just finished. Chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the same space. And we're going to single crochet all the way across. So let's single crochet these next 15 stitches, including the one we just did. So pause your video here and continue. We'll complete those 15 single crochets going this way. Okay, we completed those 15 single crochets going across the top. Now you're going to turn your work this way. We're going to work 2 single crochets across the 2 rows of half double crochets. So in that first row, we're going to do a single crochet. And in that second row, a single crochet. Now turn your work again, and we're working on the very bottom of your work. So we are going to single crochet in each stitch going across the bottom. So you can pause your video here, continue placing single crochets in each stitch all the way across the bottom, and I'll meet you back at the other end. Alright, we made it down to the other side, and we're leaving this back half unworked. So we're just going to fasten off our work. And next we are going to sew our little strap down onto our slipper. I want to give you a quick tip before you started to sew on your straps. Notice how my strap is pointing this way for this shoe, and for this shoe it's going to be facing the opposite direction. I don't think you'll want 2 shoes with the straps facing the same direction, so just in case you won't make that mistake. Alright, to attach your strap, I had mine, let me zoom in a little bit too close. I'm placing my straps slightly overlapping the first row. And people always ask me how exactly I sew. I don't do anything special. I just stick it in and out. In and out. So you can pause your video here. You can continue sewing on your strap any way you like, whatever sewing technique you may use. And after that, we'll sew on a button. For your button, I just sewed the button directly onto the strap, which is sewn directly onto the slipper. It's only decorative reasons, so you don't have to actually have a functioning button for this part of your strap. And here is what it looks like. Don't forget to check out my crochet t-shirt shop and use promo code YARN and receive a 10% discount. Alright guys, thanks for joining me on this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out my other crochet slippers if you like these. Okay guys, I'll see you all on the very next tutorial.